Hello, I am Nilay Rathod, and my topic for today is family conflicts in long day's journey into night. Introduction. Long day's journey is a play of four acts written by American playwright Eugene O'Neill. It was first published posthumously in 1956. The play is widely considered to be his magnum opus and one of the finest plays of the 20th century. O'Neill posthumously received a Pulitzer Prize for this play in 1957. Long Day's Journey into Night concerns with a tyrant family consisting parent James and Mary and their son Edmund and Jamie. Long Day, the titular term, refers to the setting of the play which takes place for one day. Conflict theory. So, the conflict theory was first developed and introduced by Karl Marx. The theory is that a society is in a state of perpetual conflict because of competition for limited resources. So, conflict theory holds that a social order is maintained by domination and power rather than conscious consensus and conformity. According to conflict theory, those with wealth and power try to hold on to it by any means possible, chiefly by suppressing the poor and powerless. A basic premise of conflict theory is that individual in groups within society will work and try to maximize their own wealth and power. Conflict theory is basic factor of social life. Competing sets of interest contributing to the dynamic nature of social life, which in turn cause conflict and induce social interaction in any given society. Each person pursues his or her individual social interest. The family, much like any other social unit, demonstrate among its member the same competing interest observed in other social groups in society. Interaction in daily life is cast in conflict in desire and want. So, like the tyrant is only wants to invest money in uh, his stock market, but whenever Mary asked him to recruit a mate or a good, better doctor than Hardy, so he never spent money on that. He's he always wanted to spend money in his personal interest, not on the family. In sociology, understanding a diverse society, Anderson and Tyler examine the family unit from perspective of family conflict theory. The view of the family as an institute governed by power relations that ultimately reflects social inequalities within the society as a whole. Killen and White sees conflict as a dialectic. The outcome of conflict is growth and nourishment, and in family, as in society, growth leads to cooperation. Therefore, cooperation is ultimately another form of conflict. When we negotiate after conflict, our interests and temporarily coincide. Conflict theory offers the idea that rather than order, conflict and friction strengthen relation between family member by creating opportunity for communication and negotiation. This dialect may eventually lead to harmony, wherein the members of a family or couple may attain deeper understanding of each other. So here in this play, the family members are very problematic in communicating or negotiating with each other. So they always tend to be alone in the consumption of alcohol or morbid family conflict. All the family members are enmeshed with one another and share a long bitter history. When Edmund, the youngest son, coughs, the mother is reminded of her father who died of consumption. She tells to Edmund that, Edmund, I hate you when you become gloomy and morbid. I forbid you to remind me of my father. As she troubled by her past, she tries to delude her father that it is just a summer cold. He's just not accepting that his son Edmund is also uh, infected by this tuberculosis, but it is just a cold. Edmund tries to make his mother understood that he has he has been diagnosed with TB and that summer cold is therefore inaccurate description, but his mother simply chooses to not listen to his explanation. Conflict because of jealousy. James faults Jamie for corrupting Edmund in being the worst influence on him, and Jamie admits to Edmund that Mom and Pop are right. I have been rotten influence, and the worst of it, I did it on purpose to make a bum of you. Never wanted you to succeed and make me look even worse by comparison. Wanted you to fail. Always jealous of you. This conflict developed in jealous rivalry between Mary and James with regard to their children. Mary asks, "I know why he wants to send you to a sanatorium to take you away from me. He's always tried to do that. He's been jealous of you, every one of my. He's been jealous of every one of my baby." She is here talking about Eugene also. He kept finding way to make me leave them. That's what caused Eugene's death. He's been jealous of you most of all. He knew I loved you best. Mary's internal conflict. At the beginning of the play, we learn that she had come back from treatment program because she was addicted. But as soon as she returns with her family, that addiction start again. As with Edmund's sickness, she refuses to admit that there is a problem, and neither of the men will comfort her about that, even if they know that she has taken her addiction again. So she just want to believe that no one will come and confront me that and save me from this addiction. This show that communication problem lacks of problems or lack communication in this family. When Edmund tells her that quit morphine, she denies and make excuses for herself. She admits that she always lying to herself, and she says that she no longer can call my soul my own. Mary of the four character in the play is one of the more unable to forget past. The more Mary uses morphine, the more she tends to dwell back into past. When Tyrell asks her to forget the past, she replies, "Why? How can I? The past is the present, isn't it? It's the future too. We'll all try to lie of that, but life won't let us." Here, instead of a person, the word past itself gets an upper hand in the words and expression of all the principal character, and each character shares a different responsibility, therefore harbors different traumatic reaction to any past action and event. Anyhow, the urge of repetition of the past, its obsession, fixity among all the individuals in play impact what has already been emphasized, a psychotic trait to them. So here, the past is getting upper hand uh, on the person, like alcohol or morphine did to Mary. What when we take alcohol, what happened that we cannot control our mind or thinking. So in a way that that consumption is taking over our mind. Mary continues, "I blame on myself. I swore after Eugene died I would never have another baby. I was to blame for his death." And she continues that I have believed Jamie did it on purpose. He was jealous of my baby. He hated him. So Jamie then, when he was little, he was infected with missile. So Mary left because Tyron sent her a message that he was missing her. So she left with his mother and the baby Eugene, and Jamie was alone. So the contagious virus of measles also infected Eugene, and this measles is it can be proven fatal to baby, not to adults. So the father Tyron is also blaming that Eugene did it on purpose. He's saying that are you back to is later saying that are you back to Eugene now? Can't you let our dead baby rest in peace? So here Eugene also sorry, Tyron also is thinking that we should let our dead baby rest in peace, but he knows that he was also to blame because he was the reason that Mary left Eugene alone. So he cannot let this thought out of his mind that his son died because of him. Tyranny is terribly mistaken that any part of the past could be laid in peace or pushed to forgetful. How can deny that? He cannot deny that it has tortured their existence so far and would continue to haunt them as Mary assert in their future too. So here we can conclude that one of the reasons that this conflict are happening is because of the consumption either alcohol or morphine. And I was listening to Jordan B. Peterson sir share one video about thinking activity. Is clinical psychologist. He often emphasizes on controlling the if you want to get fit, then controlling our consumption of alcohol, because what these intoxicating substance do with our mind is we get habituated to them, not because of the taste or we like that, because our mind thinks that no we when we take these substances, our mind takes control of over ourselves, so we cannot control, but it will give us pleasure. And these substances are very good for stress relief and pain relief. So this plays consumption plays a vital role in this. So these are the works.
Okay, so questions. First, we have from Sangeeta. Okay, okay, I'm displaying your question. Yes, you can ask.
My question is, what is major conflict in the play?
Okay, so one of the conflict can be seen is Mary's consumption of morphine. Another one can see uh, uh, the what can be slyness of or Tyrant is not spending money on their family, but instead their his own personal life. So it can be seen as one another conflict, and another one is jealousy between two brothers. Like I said, here Edmund also admitted that he was always jealous of his younger brother.
So, Nilay, my question to you is that simply I just want some understanding on this conflict theory propounded by Karl Marx. So, that can one claim or can anybody claim that weak ones will be left with nothing in competition? So, competition obviously the very strong one which strong ones will be right. So, weak one can complain. So, there is nothing like equality. So in capitalism, there is a kind of deficit of that. There is a kind of drawback of that. There is competition, but these weak ones, what will they do? So how do you see the things in reference with this family? Could you please throw some light on that? Thank you.
Sorry, my mic was mute. Am I repeating? So the edge generally weak one will always will be left because there are majority of powerful people in the competition also. So the weak one will be left behind.